Hey everyone, it's that guy over there again, bringing another, I guess, thoughts, musings over seventh edition. Yeah, so I got the book the other day. Everybody at my shop, we had a meeting. We sat down and talked it over about how we're gonna at least house rule it to play in our shop. Kind of talked about the things that changed, and in my personal opinion, I know everybody's kind of freaking out right now with the new demonology, psychic powers, the whole psychic phase in general, mission objectives, all that kind of stuff. Honestly, I think seventh's a lot better. I think that uh, the rules are about as clear as I've ever seen them. You know, there's not really a lot of room for interpretation, which is good because it means less rules arguments. And they seem to be, everybody says they kind of pendulum back and forth. I think assault used to be good way back in the day. Then shooting kind of became predominant, and now they're coming back towards the middle because assault did get better in this edition. It didn't beat out shooting, but it got a lot better. So specifically Tyranids in seventh, I think we got a lot better. The warlord trait tables, they're more meaningful. And if you have a battle forged army, so a real army, the army that you're going to be taking to tournaments, because nobody's going to let you play Unbound at a tournament unless you have like an Unbound tournament or something you go to. But the warlord traits, you can reroll that, and they're way better than the ones in the Tyranid book. I always roll on the Tyranid chart just because we have a chart, but the warlord traits are good now. Move through cover is what balances out the assault. So before, I remember everybody would hide in terrain. I can get past the initiative one thing, I can get past all that, but I remember my first game of 6th edition, we were playing that you actually had to go the full distance between floors, not the 3 inches. I'm not sure why we did that, but my buddy had a squad of scouts up there, and I had a brood of warriors try to charge up that distance all game, and they never made it because of rolling 3d6. And now that move through cover is just assaulting through cover -2 to your roll. It's just flat 2d6 -2. Does mean that you can fail a charge now, because if you're an inch away and you roll double ones, then you can't. Yeah, or I think if you roll a 3, -2 is 1 inch. You have to be outside of an inch. So anyway, I think you could fail charges now, but move through cover negates that -2. So now it's just a flat roll. It's like the terrain wasn't there. You do have to go to initiative 1, but honestly, I can get over that. Cover in general got better. There's special rules for each different kind now, and it's like very well laid out what those rules are. There's actually a whole page for each. Like, here's what trees do, here's what ruins do. So it's good. I like that. A lot of the things you'd get for just standing on it. So there's no more 25%. Well, there is, but depending on what kind of terrain you're in. Read into the obscured, like if you're trying to shoot, if you're even just trying to shoot in between models at another unit, you get a 5+ cover save. So the way I take that means is if you have a row of Ripper Swarms in front of your army, all of your guys have a 5+ cover save. Gargoyles too and all that, obviously, but with Venom Thrope, now your whole army has a 3+ cover save. So that's pretty nice, because it even says if there's like 2 units blocking, and but there's like a tunnel between the 2 units and they're shooting in the unit in the back, that unit gets a 5+ if you have to look it all through another unit. So so I think in that respect we got a lot better. Flying monsters creatures got a lot of buffs. I know that they can't, like Vector Strike is only 1 hit, Smash is only 1 hit. You can't come out of flying mode in Assault, but I think that's okay because we were building all shooting monsters creatures anyway, because we didn't want to land, because it was just death to land. Jink is a 4+ now, and you have to snapshot, but it's a 4+ cover save. which might be nice for that turn that your opponent brings on a flyer and is going to try to shoot you down. Because I know I always hated that when, you know, this Storm Talon would come on and just completely waste my Hive Tyrant flying around because he had like the missiles and everything. So 4+ cover is nice, and that stacks with everything else, like getting Night Fight, having stealth, shrouded from Venom Throats. So that enemy flyers can do that too, but they have to, and Wave Serpents, but they have to say they're jinking before you even roll to hit. So that means if skimmers like Wave Serpents are jinking, that means that they're going to be snap shooting it, even if you don't damage them, which is good. Grounding checks got a lot easier to, well, it's a lot harder to force them because you have to actually cause an unsaved wound, and then at the end of the phase you get to take a grounding check. And I think if you get grounded, the shooting's over because it's the end of the phase, and you can assault the next turn because you got grounded. You didn't come out of hovering mode that turn. So definitely do that. If your opponent grounds you, use that opportunity to assault stuff. Everybody. So the three big contenders for why people are complaining about 7th edition or saying it's broken, unbalanced. So the first one, Demonology. Flying monsters, creature spam. Oh, I'm sorry, why did I say that? I've got a list of notes here, and I'm going off of. But anyway, so Demonology. So the fear is that there's going to be someone who brings just a whole list of horrors, summons more horrors that summon more horrors, and demon princes, bloodthirsters, and all this craziness. I don't think anybody wants to play that list. Frontline Gaming did a battle report where it took 6 hours to finish a game when somebody brought a list like that, and at a tournament you're not going to finish your game and get through enough turns to actually count your points. During friendly games, nobody's going to want to play against that, and nobody wants to have 6 hour long game. Take it from the Tyrion guy who has 5 Tervagons, who's played that kind of. It's just not. It's just exhausting. It's physically exhausting. You can't really enjoy the game because you're moving these hundreds of models around every phase, and it's all the bookkeeping. It's bad. So nobody wants to play that. It's not fun for anybody. And I think if you're playing demons, you're going to be playing monsters creature spam, because 5 demon princes flying around are now going to be so hard to shoot down. Of course, it's going to be hard for them to do anything back to you because they can't land and assault you and all that stuff. But I think that's what people are going to be playing. And even if they bring some troops of horrors to try to cast some summoning spells, those are warp charge 3 powers, and I think you're going to be wanting your dice to go into your demon princes so that they don't die. I don't think you're going to have enough dice to actually roll for horrors to try to summon more horrors or whatever, or more troop choices or more demon princes. I don't think you're going to have the dice for it. So that's my thoughts on it. I don't think it's as going to be as big of a deal as everybody's saying. Some of the powers are nice, where they give your demons +1 invulnerable save and all this other stuff. Those might get used. I don't think people are going to start, casting a lot of these powers. Force organization chart. So they really defined what all the things are now. Like your combined arms detachment, it's a set thing, and that's your primary detachment in 6th edition. And then there's allied detachments, formations. Those are the only 2. But you can take multiple of the primary objectives or primary detachments, which combine arms detachment, which has a Lord of War slot, which has a formation or fortification slot. So at my store, we decided that everybody gets a combined arms detachment, including the Lord of War spot. Just because, D weapons aren't as dangerous as they used to be. Usually the things cost so many points that you're not, unless you roll a 6. So one turn you're going to shoot something that just kills everything. But all the other turns you're going to get cover saves, you're going to get invulnerable saves, So it's not going to be as dangerous as it used to be. And they cost so much that they, it balances out. So we're okay with that. So everybody gets 1. You can't take a bunch to avoid things like 1 HQ, 2 troops, 3 heavies. 1 HQ, 2 troops, 3 heavies, and that's your whole list. Just that spammed over and over. So everybody gets that. Then you can include up to 1 other thing, which can be an allied detachment, a formation, because formations are a thing now, and data or a data slate. So yeah, so that's how everybody's. If you come to a tournament at Gamers Hideout, that's how it's going to look. We did say that you can ally with yourself. There's something in there where allied detachments can't be from the same faction as your primary, which, even though you're battle brothers with yourself, you can't ally with yourself, supposedly. So we just house ruled it that at tournaments you can ally with yourself because, I mean, why not? I mean, that's the way the game's going anyway. Yeah. So, but speaking of allies, come the apocalypse, so Tyranids now get a lot of more options. I mean, I'm really looking forward to designing a Gene Stealer cult. And I wonder what a good Gene Stealer cult list would be. Would it be, I mean, everybody, Astra Militarum, Orcs? Would Orcs be a good Gene Stealer cult? Chaos, Space Marines, would they be? I don't know. So, and what would it look like? Say you do Astra Militarum. Do you do infantry blobs supported by Tyranid monstrous creatures, or do you do Tyranid, all the little Gene Stealers infiltrating forward, backed up by anti-tank firepower from the Astra? Who knows? I don't know. I'll be looking at it, though. I'll see what I can come up with. But if you have any ideas, please post them up to help me out. Maelstrom War missions. That's the third thing. So Maelstrom War, that's the tactical objectives. It looks like if you just let it go unchecked, it will unbalance the game. If one guy draws all the easy points to score and the other guy draws all the hard ones, then obviously one player is going to win, and that's going to be the guy that draws the right cards. So what we're not including them in the tournaments right now, just because we need to play some games to see what they're like. Our idea is that if you draw a card that you cannot score, like shoot down a flyer and your opponent doesn't have a flyer, you get to throw that one back and draw another one for free, no penalty. And you can discard as frequently as you want, as long as you can't use them. Like if it's like Slay the Warlord, and he has a Warlord, so you can use that. And then at the tournament, we learned early on that you can't just give raw points for like kill point missions, because we'd have guys who would massacre their opponent and get 20 victory points and just run away with the tournament because no one could catch up to that. So we'll play 2 missions, say Purge the Alien and like the Scouring, and if you win one of those missions, you get 5 points. If you draw, both players get 3 points, and if you lose, you get 0. So Maelstrom War, if we decide to include it, it'd be something like you get 2 points for winning. And that's just a number. Like, you can put whatever number you want, but 2 points is what we're looking at right now, just to avoid the kill point scenario where my opponent combat squads his whole army and he's got 25 kill points on the table, and I table him. Well, everybody who played the Drago Wing with like 5 kill points on the table, just for the rest of the tournament, there's no way to catch up to that guy. So yeah, so that's how we're going to get around it. So my final thoughts for the book for 7th is solid. The rules are really clean, and like actually look at the other 2 books that came in there, like the one that's basically like the storyline. Wow, it is nice. I mean, I'm kind of upset that Tyranids just got 1 page, a picture and 1 page out of the whole book, but there's a part about Pandorax at the end, which is so cool, and they've got like pictures of guys, the characters on each of the pages, so it's like as you're reading, you can see off to the side they have a little spot about Corpulax. He's like the zombie lord. He was a loyalist marine, and he was fighting against the zombie horde, and he contracted the zombie plague, and then obviously fell to Nurgle, and now he travels around spreading the zombie plague. I don't know, it's kind of cool. But it was solid. Like reading through it, I was like, this is what Warhammer 40,000 is about. Not necessarily the tournament scene. I mean, but this is the storyline. It's cool. It lays it out at the beginning, makes it sound all dark and about how pilgrims are traveling their whole lives just to look at Earth from like outside the solar system. They can see this speck in their of soul that's our sun, and feeling like they accomplished something with their lives because it's just so grim and so dark. It's cool. Um, yeah, but the books are good. They look nice. I like the little carrying case. It makes something good to look on the shelf. Um, as far as the armies go, I think the armies that were good in 6th are going to be good in 7th. So like the Eldar Dark Eldar combination, shooting is relatively unchanged. So obviously that they're going to be good. They're always going to be good. Space Marines got better because their troop transports can score now. Which everybody's like, oh, they're going to take drop pods and drop the drop pods in Combat Squad, and then they're going to have 3 scoring and direct. If you don't have any units left at the end of the game, which often happens against, there's a guy in my store who plays the Eldar Dark Eldar, and he's really good. But oftentimes he tables people. So if you don't have models left at the end of the game now, in 7th edition, you're still not going to have models on the table. So, yeah, so you just obviously balance that out. Flying monster creatures spam because it's harder to ground them. Flying demons are going to be good. Tyranids, the Skyblight lists are going to be good. I know Frontline Gaming was talking about the Guardian GT up in Oregon or something. There's 2 Skyblight lists vying. They're in the top pack looking for first place, so that's good. And then Battle Brothers dropping out almost completely. Eldar, Dark Eldar, the Space Marine chapters, and I think there was one other. No, I think that was it. Eldar and Dark Eldar are the only Battle Brothers outside of your own. There's like a strip where you can ally with yourself, but yeah, I like that a lot because Battle Brothers was kind of ridiculous. So anyway, those are my thoughts. I think I like 7th edition a lot. I hope you guys do as well. Obviously, if you have opinions to the contrary or facts to the contrary, maybe I've messed something up in here, please post it, subscribe, like, comment, all those good things. So thanks for listening, and enjoy the rest of your week.